Welcome to Learn Mathematics with Moni. Get your books and pen and get ready to learn.
Our topic today is changing subject of formula. To change the subject of any formula, the first thing you have to do is to identify desired variable. After you have identified the desired variable which you want to make the subject of the formula, the second thing you do is to remove every unwanted element from the desired variable. How do we remove the unwanted element from the desired variable? We do that by doing inverse operation. What do I mean by inverse operation? If the operation you have at a certain point or with a certain element that is not desired is addition, the inverse operation is subtraction. If the operation you have with an element that is not desired is multiplication, the inverse is division. You will see this as we take examples. This is an example. We are given that y is equals to x plus 8, and we are told to make x the subject of the formula. Making x the subject of the formula means that make x to stand alone. Make x to stand alone. That is the meaning of make x the subject of the formula. This means this x that is standing with plus 8 on my right hand side, we want to make it to stand alone on the left, just like this y is standing alone on the left. Now we have been able to identify our desired variable, which is x. So the second thing is to remove unwanted elements from the desired variable. Here I have y equals to x plus 8. On the right hand side with x is plus 8, and I do not desire the plus 8 with x, so I have to remove the plus 8 from x. The operation between x and 8 is plus addition, so we are going to take the inverse operation, which is subtraction. That is how to remove the 8, which is the unwanted element, from x, which is the desired element. So we have y equals to x plus 8. To remove this plus 8, I will do the opposite. Make sure it is balanced. Whatever you are doing to the left, you are doing same to the right. So, which means on my left I have y minus 8, and on the right I have x plus 8 minus 8. X plus 8 is what we have originally. Now subtracting 8 from it, I have minus 8. Plus 8 minus 8 is 0. So plus 8 minus 8 are out of the game. We are left with y minus 8 equals to x. This means that x is equals to y minus 8. And by this we have made x the subject of the formula. Let's take another example. Look at this. We want to make b the subject of the formula. This means b is the desired variable. We want b to stand alone. In a equals to b minus c, we have minus c attached on the same side to b. So we need to get rid of this minus c so that b can stand alone. Let us do that. To make b stand alone, we have to do the opposite of minus c, the inverse. The inverse, additive inverse of minus c is plus c. So we have to add c to both hand sides. So that I have a plus c equals to b minus c plus c. Minus c plus c cancels out. They are equal to 0. So we are left with a plus c is equals to B. B is already the subject of the formula now because it is standing alone. But I'm going to rewrite it as B equals to A plus C. And with that, we have made B the subject of that formula. This is another example. We are given that P equals to Q minus R. And we want to make R the subject of this formula. That means R is our desired variable and we want it to stand alone. For R to stand alone, we have to remove every other element that is attached on the same side to R. Let us see that. On the same side with R, we have Q, from which R is removed in front of this R. And we don't want a negative R. We don't desire a negative R. The first thing I want to do is to pick this my R from the right hand side and take it to the left. My reason for doing that is because I want this my R to change from negative R to positive R. I desire to have positive R and not negative R. So I will take the negative R to the left hand side so that I have P. When the negative R gets to the left hand side, it becomes positive R equals to Q. But I have still not removed unwanted element from R because R is now even joined to P. So the next thing is to remove this P, which is the unwanted element from R. The sign in front of P here is positive. So the opposite of this positive P is negative P. The inverse of this positive P is negative P. So I will do negative P to both hand side so that I have P plus R minus P equals to Q minus P. This is P minus P. Let's rearrange this so that you can see it clearly. P minus P plus R equals to Q minus P. P minus P cancels out. It's equals to 0. So on my left hand side, I am left with positive R, which equals Q minus P. And with that, we have made R the subject of the formula. I told you there are other methods of doing this. So I want to take another method of doing this. Let me call this Roman figure 1. Another method of doing this is P equals to Q minus R. This is the formula we are given. And I want to make R the subject of the formula. On the same side with R is Q. So we want to dissociate this Q from R. The sign in front of Q here is positive. So the inverse of plus Q is minus Q. So I want to do minus Q to both hand side. Minus Q means subtract Q. So I want to subtract Q from both hand sides. This means on my left I have P minus Q equals to, on the right we have Q minus R. Now subtract Q from it, minus Q. We can rearrange the right hand side so that we have P minus Q equals to Q minus Q minus R. Q minus Q minus R. Q minus Q is 0. So we have P minus Q equals to minus R. But what we desire to make the subject of the formula is R and not minus R. So I have to remove this minus from R. There are two ways to get rid of this negative sign with R. You either multiply both hand side by -1 or you divide both hand side by -1. I am choosing to multiply both hand side by -1. So multiply both hand sides by -1, so that I have -1 times P minus Q equals to -1 times -R. Let us continue here. Let's remove the bracket from the left hand side. -1 times plus P, that is minus P. -1 times minus Q, minus times minus is plus, that is plus Q, equals to minus times minus here is plus. So -1 times -R is positive R. This means we can rearrange our left hand side. Minus P plus Q is the same thing as plus Q minus P, and that is equals to R, giving us R is equals to Q minus P, which is exactly the same thing we got here. So you can either correct the negative sign in front of your desired variable by taking it to the other side first, or you continue it like that, removing all unwanted elements from it, then either multiply by -1 or divide by -1 to cancel out the negative sign with your desired variable. Let us take another example. E is equals to GH, and the desired variable is H. We want to make H the subject of formula. GH means G times H. This means that E is equals to G times H. The next thing we have to do is how to remove the unwanted element from the desired variable. On the same side with H is times G, and we do not desire the times G. We want H to stand alone. So we have to do the inverse operation for times G. The inverse operation for times G is divided by G. So let us divide both hand sides by G. This means E divided by G equals to G times H divided by G. G divides G once. So we are left with E over G is equals to H. Putting the right to the left and the left to the right, this means that H equals to E over G. With this, we have made H the subject of the formula.
Go right now and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification button so that you can be notified anytime I drop new lesson. Thank you.
If you have followed me from the first example, I said there are two things to do when you want to change the subject of formula. The first is for you to identify the desired variable you want to make the subject of formula. And in this case, M is the desired variable that we need to make the new subject of formula. So we have to remove every other variable or element on the same side with M. V equals to M divided by D. We desire to make M the subject of formula. M over D means M divided by D. That is what the same thing as the equation we have. So we need to do an inverse operation of divided by D. The inverse operation for divided by D is times D. So we have to multiply both sides by D times D equals to M over D times D. This is D over 1. So D cancels out D once. So V times D, that is VD, equals to M times 1, which is M. This means that M is equals to VD, and we have been able to change the subject of the formula to M, like that. This is another example. X is our desired variable, the one we desire to make the subject of formula. And on the same side with X is plus 5 and the 3 multiplying everything inside the bracket. So we have to remove both plus 5 and the times 3 from that right hand side. We will start with the farthest, the one most far away from X. Y equals to 3 multiplied by everything inside X plus 5. We can rewrite this as 3 times all of X plus 5. So if we want to know the first element to remove from the right, 3 times X plus 5. X and plus 5 are close together inside the same row, and times 3 is outside the row. So times 3 is the farthest, the most far away from X. So we have to remove times 3 first. The opposite of times 3, or the inverse operation for times 3, is divided by 3. So let us divide both hand sides by 3. This means y divided by 3 equals to 3 into x plus 5 divided by 3. 3 divides 3 once. So we are left with y divided by 3 equals to x plus 5. The next thing we have to remove from x is plus 5. The inverse operation for plus 5 is minus 5. And minus 5 means subtract 5. So let us subtract 5 from both sides. This means y over 3 minus 5 equals to x plus 5 minus 5. Plus 5 minus 5 equals to 0. So we have y over 3 minus 5 equals to x. This means x equals to y divided by 3 minus 5. And with this, we have made x the subject of the formula. This is another example. X divided by 5 is equals to 7. X divided by 5 is equals to 7. There are two ways of going about this, and both of them are correct. I want to go by the first method. This is x divided by 5 equals to 7. I desire that x should be standing alone. So I will have to remove this divided by 5 from the same side with x by doing the inverse operation. The inverse operation for divided by x is times x. So we are going to multiply both sides by x. Multiply both hand sides we desire that x should be standing alone. That means we have to remove this divided by 5 from the same side with x. The inverse operation for the divided by 5 is times 5. Times 5 means multiply by 5. So let us multiply both hand sides by 5. X divided by 5 times 5 equals to 7 times 5. 5 divides 5 once. This is 5 over 1. So 5 divides 5 once. So we have x equals to 7 times 5, 35. So x is equals to 35. The second way of doing this is to represent 7 as a fraction, as 7 over 1. At this point, we can simply cross multiply both hand sides, because we have a single fraction on the left and a single fraction on the right. This means 1 times x equals to 5 times 7. 1 times x is x, 5 times 7 is 35. Whichever way you choose to go about this, both of them are correct. R equals to V over I, and we desire to make I the subject of the formula. At this point, I can represent what I have on my left hand side as a single fraction as well. This means R over 1 is equals to V over I. Whenever what you desire is at the numerator of a fraction, you should find a way to simplify both hand sides to stand as a single fraction. Once what you have on the left is standing as a single fraction, and everything you have on the right is standing as a single fraction, the next thing to do is to cross multiply. So let us cross multiply. This means R times I equals to 1 times V. R times I is equals to 1 times V. 1 times V is V. But I is not still standing alone. It is standing with times R. So we do the inverse operation for times R, which is divided by R. Divided by R means divide both sides by R, which is R times I divided by R equals to V divided by R. R divides R once. We are left with I, which is equals to V divided by R. And with that, we have made I the subject of the formula.
You need to pause right now. Go right now and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification button so that you can be notified anytime I drop new lesson. Thank you.
A is equals to R squared, and we desire to make R the subject of the formula. That means whatever is standing with R should be removed. With R on the same side, we have, so the opposite of this square is square root. The inverse operation for square is square root. So we have to take the square root of both hand sides to get rid of this square. That means the square root of A equals to the square root of R squared. Square root and square will cancel out because they are inverse of each other. So we are left with square root of A equals to R. This means R equals to square root of A. And we have made R the subject of the formula that way. V is equals to A cube. And we desire to make A the subject of the formula. That means this exponent 3, the cube, must go. The inverse operation of cube is cube root. So we take the cube root of both hand sides, which means we have cube root of V equals to cube root of A cube. Cube root and the cube are word and its opposite, so they cancel each other. We are left with A, which equals to cube root of V. And with that, A is already made the subject of the formula. We are given that P equals to 2L plus B, and we desire that L should be standing alone as the subject of the formula. That means we have to remove the plus B and the 2 from that right hand side, or from the same side with L. Looking at this, the 2 is closer to L than the plus B. That means the plus B is the easier one to remove, the easier element to remove. So let's take the inverse operation for plus B. The inverse operation for plus B is minus B. Minus B means subtract B. So subtract B from both hand sides. This means P minus B equals to 2L plus B minus B. Plus B minus B equals to 0. So we have P minus B equals to 2L. But we also know that 2L means 2 times L. So to remove this 2, we have to do the inverse operation for times 2, which is divided by 2. So let's divide both hand sides by 2. This means we have P minus B all divided by 2 equals to 2L divided by 2. 2 here 1, 2 here 1. So we have L equals to P minus B, everything divided by 2. And with that, L is made the subject of the formula. We have A over B equals to C over D, and we desire to make D the subject of the formula. Because we have a single fraction on the left and a single fraction on the right, I am going to be cross multiplying. Let us cross multiply to remove the denominators, so that I have A times D equals to B times C. We have A times D equals to B times C. We intend to make D the subject of the formula. That means we have to get rid of this times A from the same side with D. The inverse of times A is divided by A. So let's divide both hand sides by A. This means A times D divided by A equals to B times C divided by A. A divides A once, A divides A once. So we are left with D equals to B times C, which is BC over A. BC divided by A. With that, we have made D the subject of the formula. We are given that 2 into 3 minus y equals to y into x plus 5. And we desire to make y the subject of the formula. There is a y appearing here, there is another y appearing there, and the y is y anywhere. The first thing that should be on our mind is how to bring the y together without breaking any rule. So let us start by expanding both sides. We have 2 times 3, 6. 2 times minus y, that is minus 2y. On the right hand side, we have y times x, xy. Y times plus 5, plus 5y. Now we have y appearing in 3 different terms. Y appearing here, and here. So let us bring all terms with y together. I have 6 on the left hand side. I am taking this minus 2y to the right hand side. So initially on the right hand side, I have xy plus 5y. Now minus 2y is going to that side and it's going to become plus 2y. Let us simplify the right hand side. I have 6 equals to xy plus 5y plus 2y. That is plus 7y. On the right hand side, I can factor out y. So I have 6 equals to y into y in xy is x, and y in plus 7y is plus 7. So what I have on my right hand side is the same thing I say as saying I have y times x plus 7 equals to 6. Since I want my y to stand alone, that means I want to remove this times x plus 7 from the left hand side. By dividing both hand sides, divide both hand sides by x plus 7. Which means I have y into x plus 7 divided by x plus 7 equals to 6 divided by x plus 7. X plus 7 cancels out x plus 7. So that I am left with y, which is equals to 6 divided by x plus 7. And with that, we have made y the subject of the formula. We are given that y equals to 2x plus 5 everything over 3. And we desire to make x the subject of the formula. Because I have a denominator here, I will cross multiply both hand sides so that I can eliminate the denominators. I will put this as over 1 because it is actually over 1. So let us cross multiply. 1 times 2x plus 5, that is 2x plus 5 equals to y times 3, which is 3y. Let me write that as 3y. Y times 3 is 3y. So on the same side with x, we have plus 5 and we have 2. 2 is closer to the x than the plus 5. So the plus 5 is what we are going to remove first. So let us remove the plus 5 to the other side so that I am left with 2x on my left hand side, which is equals to 3y. The plus 5 going to the other side becomes minus 5. Now we have 2x equals to 3y minus 5. This is 2 times x. So to remove the 2 from x, we have to divide both hand side by 2. Divided by 2 and divided by 2. 2 divides 2 once. We are left with x, which is equals to 3y minus 5 everything over 2. And with this, we have made x the subject of the formula.
Thank you for learning mathematics with Moni today. Do you know you are free to share my videos with your classmates, your colleagues, your friends, your cousins? Do that right now and be a blessing to them and to me.